Добрий день, я вітаю всіх, хто
Hello, everyone who has joined us. This is Ukraine Media Center at Ukraine Forum. It is 203rd day of Ukraine's heroic defense against Russia and the Russian occupiers. Right now, we are going to discuss the situation in the south of Ukraine. We have with us Natalia Humeniuk, the head of the United Coordinating Press Center of Security and Defense in the south of Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Natalia, what was the situation over the last day in the south of Ukraine? We have seen that Mykolaiv region was under attack again. What are the consequences? Yes, indeed. The situation is still tense. It is changing very dynamically, but all of them under control of the south of Ukraine defense, despite the attempts of the enemy to work against the civilians. For instance, against Nikopol, there were 72 attempts to shell the place over the last day. There were some destructions of industrial and civilian infrastructure, but fortunately there were no casualties. These were once again S-300 missiles. So again, there were some industrial destructions and educational institutions and residential buildings. Unfortunately, yes, there are some casualties, and the fact that they continue this psychological and fire pressure proves that they are unable to advance on the ground, and because of this, they are influencing through such measures. If possible, can you share a bit about our advancement in the south? What is happening there? What is the situation? We continue to work to destroy the temporary bridges or any alternative ways for the enemy to transfer their capacities wherever they are trying to use their pontoons to get through their equipment and ammunition. We are hitting them, and unfortunately they continue because of the orders they get, and their intention is to hold at least some of what they have promised. It is understandable already that the so-called referendum is being postponed, and all the preparation of it has been postponed, and they are moving their equipment to the left bank. They don't even have the time for this because there are air raid alerts all the time because of our fire control, and our artillery continues to destroy their ammunition warehouses, 3 of which were destroyed over the last day, and this were the locations with the enemy equipment and personnel, but this is what they have brought in there, expecting our actions, and they still have some equipment in store. Although the morale of their units, of course, is very low because of the success of our armed forces in the east of Ukraine, and they understand that if we were successful there, then here they don't have any prospects as well. So they only have one option: to lie down the weapons. We have recently discussed with you, Natalia, that the occupiers were looking for ways to put down the weapons, to surrender. Is there any progress? Yes, there are certain processes. We are not unveiling the details right now because the enemy is also tracking this situation. They dislike the situation a lot. They understand that they are losing these positions. We are satisfied with this process, and for now we are not unveiling any information. For a couple of days on the net, there was active discussion of the occupiers living Kisilivka. And also yesterday we heard that in Davidov Brod, our armed forces were able to get through. Can you please comment on these events? I like the Ukrainian armed forces to be supported in more productive ways than discussing the things that have not been officially announced yet. Because once again, this information trash, so to speak, that was there even on the international level by the specialists of the institutions that should not have done it, it creates a totally opposite impression, because information in the time of hybrid war is also a weapon, and if it is used this way, it is in fact being used against the military units that are doing the good thing. So what is the situation in the Black Sea then? Currently, the situation is quite stable, although the occupiers are trying to create the impression of increasing this threat. They have brought in the additional missile carriers, and the total number of the calibers is 36 in this case. They could be used against the critical infrastructure, as we could have seen once. We need to be conscious about the threats, and you need to follow the air raid alerts, but we understand that these warships of the Black Sea Fleet, or what is left of it, they cannot get close to our shore because they do not have this air defense that they intended to have on this mini island, for instance. So we have a question in the studio. Hello, Ukraine Forum. I have two questions, Natalia. Is the Russian Federation still bringing in weapons and equipment from the Crimea? Are the scopes changing? And what about the convoy of military equipment in Mariupol? Where is it going? Thank you for your questions, and thank you for your close attention to what is happening in the south. Yes, we are aware. Yes, we are tracking these pathways that the enemy can use for the eventual use of this equipment in the south, and they are also conscious of the fact that our fire control fully covers these land pathways that they hypothetically could use. And even if they attempt to come in smaller convoys, we are also ready for that. And they are aware of this. So yes, the equipment is there, but it is not coming in fast. And one more question. We could see on social media that in Kherson region, the enemy is installing concrete fences. Is there a possibility that the local partisans will work against this? Well, this movement of partisans is working actively. We are grateful for their work. We are in close communication with them, aware of each other's actions, and we are working together for the victory. And third, the capacity of any industrial enterprise, this belongs to our state. So we are not destroying the infrastructure, we are just destroying the plans of the enemy. So we have a certain plan that will be implemented in the nearest time, but we are not going to destroy what belongs to Ukraine.
It's Japanese Kyoto News. Last night, Metropolis Mayor Fyodorov declared that some Russian tank rams escaping from the city towards Crimea. Can you confirm the information? And also, the Russian installed head of Zaporozhye region, Mr. Rogov, said today that there is an unprecedented concentration of Ukrainian army on the border front of this region. Thank you. Can you confirm it?
Я так розумію, мова йде.
I understand that this was about Melitopol, right? That's not our scope of responsibility, but it is indeed quite close to what we are responsible for. We are indeed tracking the situation. We see and understand the attempts of the occupiers to escape to the Crimea and to somehow change their position. So it's easier for them if they come together in big quantities. It's a good target. Thank you, Natalia, for joining our air. And this was Natalia Humeniuk, the head of the United Coordination Headquarters of the south of Ukraine. Thank you, dear journalists, for being interested in what is happening and sharing with the world about our heroic fight. Thank you so much, and follow our future announcements.